Hey everyone, Zhonos here, and it looks like I've given away the new king here. Yes, the king of nomads. Just had a big patch, and I've tested the king of nomads on difficulty 7, so I think I'd like to jump right into difficulty 8, which I could have sworn I had beaten 8 in the last video, but maybe I was hallucinating a recording session. So anyway, I'm thinking of doing a build like this, but let me explain what the king of nomads has available to them. So we have 10% dragons, which are a mount, like a boar. We have their buff card, can be a little bit stronger. They also have the other buff card. Where is it? Shields can be stronger as well. We have, sorry, the raptors are the mounts. The dragon is a tower that fires once by default. Kind of weird. They don't seem very easy to use. We have a mob, which gets more units, which is pretty interesting, although it doesn't really synergize the best. It's still pretty useful, though. Frost seems like a troll build, like a worse poison. It does reduce attack speed, but I don't know if that matters that much. Anyway, and then we have migration. I really like this migration card on the expansion tower event, but the problem is it doesn't really scale for endless, which is fine if you're not doing endless, but I mean, it's really good if you could put it here and get like ×4, but I think I'm going to do a simpler build with the warlords, which is your base. So we're also going to get ingenious, so base can level up 5 more times. You have 10% more stats for the base. And then we're going to do leader, start with 1 random troop card in your hand. And we're also going to get more HP on all our troops anyway. So this is what got me the win on 7 while playing off camera. So I think I'm going to go again with the same build here. So let's look at their cards real quick. We have our base, which is the warlords. You'll see that they do their own damage, but they also fire an arrow on a cooldown that you can aim. And that adds the stats of the warlord to whatever it hits. I don't think they can buff themselves, even though it shows stat increase, like a little pop-up. I don't think it actually hits them, unfortunately. We have a mob, which is a very weird unit. I feel like it's mostly there so you can use the rainbow cards to all for one or whatever, where you absorb the unit counts of all the adjacent tiles. It's amazing with that. But anyway, and then we have the raptor, which is mounted by adjacent units like the boar. And it just combines its stats, and then it does like a charge, and then goes the backline. Really good unit, actually. I really like the raptor. Migration is a weird thing. It lets you move plots, and they gain 10% damage HP. Interesting synergies with other cards. We have camp, which I feel like is totally useless and terrible because it's so slow. And you have to like place a card on an empty plot, which I think migration will trigger, but it's still so crazy slow. And it like blocks things. I don't know, whatever. And then frost, attack, speed, and movement by 20%. Seems troll to me. There's a perk that not a perk, policy lets you turn this into a poison, but it's obviously worse than poison because it doesn't scale as well for the most part. Swords, this is interesting. So you can do 5 damage or 5%. And then shield, same thing, but HP and 10 or 10%. So it's like a stable early game push that you can then continue to scale percent base instead of flat. So it's not bad. But it like clogs up the cards in this faction. Then Dragon's Den, which is interesting. It procs with migration, but yeah, destroyed apparently if you move it, that counts as a destroy. So there is some synergy if you can like migrate back and forth constantly. And there was a build that did on lower difficulty. That was pretty fun, but The Dragon's Den, it like fires a nuke in a line based on where it's placed, and that's it. Kinda tough to use, I would say. But anyway, we're gonna do difficulty 8 here. I don't like facing stone, but I'm not gonna reroll. I'm just gonna play it out, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm just gonna do the very boring mob spam. Boar is cool, but I'm not gonna build around the boar. That is terrible. This is terrible. You know, I am, you know what? I changed mine. This is terrible. Everything's terrible about this. This is good if we can get the defender early. And I like spells because I can use these spare units. I guess, but we didn't hit the defender. That's unlucky. Actually, do I want to do the I did the warlord builder. I put the warlords in the middle. Maybe we'll do that. I think I'll do that actually. Put the warlord in the middle. We get a mob here. And then I think, I mean, we could sell stuff off. Like the rat is too useless. Ideally, we'd want another mob here before we start placing units, but who are we facing? Nothing. Nothing in who? Nature. Getting blood would be good. You'll see why. I'm just gonna sell this. I guess. No, I kind of want to do the mobs. Guess I'll swords early on these guys. And I'll sell the boar. Okay, so you see this arrow we fire and does stats up. So it should be adding the stats of the warlord to whatever it hits. In this case, the mob unit. Here, I'll take the wild card. And what's interesting is like the mob kind of like scales with other units placed around it. So, I mean, it would be ideal if we had more mobs, but like, look, if we level this guy up, the level up gave us more units and the mob gained the same number of units. So it's really, really powerful in theory. But the mob is, ooh, procreate's amazing. I think I'll save procreate. Do we do, maybe I build up a raptor and then I'll migrate them later. I'll just have a raptor here ready to go. And you can see how they move. Like they just fly to the back. Which can be really powerful. And they do a damage. They do, like these will ride on the raptors and then they'll hit the units for the damage. Okay, I need another mob. Thank you. New troops towers placed, empty pots. Start with those stats. Feast is really good, but Feast is really, really good. Yeah, I'm not really going to scale off of these units. These two are the ones I'm actually going to scale off of, so we take Feast, sadly. I'm going to put a mob here, and then we can place another unit there and feel not too bad about it. Okay. I think we'll do okay. This is probably a good run. Procreate would be best. Ooh. Warlord's gonna start clogging up my hand. Okay, so look. That was 13 units, so we got 13 across all those. I think blood is a really, really good unit. Good faction to get as your opponent. Because we want graveyards to utilize these mobs better. Although I think I'm going to take the steel coat. I'm going to steel coat the main units here. The dream is to try to get the mobs on all these sides, build up the mobs population counts, procreate a bunch here. And then I've done this with the non-warlord units, where we get the rainbow card that lets us like steal all these mobs and get bonkers numbers of whatever is in the middle. We'll still code that. Okay, so I think we declare war on blood when we get the chance. Migration, I don't know. I think I'd rather just buff right now. So you gain plus 10 health since you're below 100. And now every single time we shoot this ability into our troops, it'll increase their stats by... so we get 56 health and 15 damage. Stacking every single time. And I think the attack speed and crit chance theoretically should be added as well, although I'm not sure I believe that it does. Okay, we're rolling for blood. Spells is really good too. I like blood and spells the most, I think, because we want to... Spells will let us use the... where we get enchantments, where we destroy a unit. So it incentivizes we can have a bunch of mobs, and we keep like placing and then removing troops. Just super cool. Let's see. One weakness I've noticed is blood does pretty good against this faction until we get a source of AoE. Also, King of Progress does really good against this faction. For some reason, they just destroy us. Let's see. Cemetery is really good. Eventually. I'm gonna hold on to Cemetery, and I guess I'll waste one of my procreates probably. Is really what I want to do. Well, having a Cemetery somewhere like here is pretty decent. I'm gonna procreate here, I think. And if things looking bad, I might break down and use a Cemetery. Just getting the one Cemetery is really good though, because we can... I think Cemetery, and then I want some Carnage, actually. And then I can just copy the other Cemeteries. I want a mob. Wow. Yeah, I'm leveling up the Warlord, I guess. Combustion could be really good too, actually. But I'll take Carnage. And leave. Warlord, Carnage. They're not really in the front line though, so I'm really relying on like a late game scaling shenanigan. But I mean, I want to scale the warlords here. Wow. Of course I should do. So I want to just spend all of my scaling on these guys. Do we take another Cemetery? I wish. I don't really need two. Can I get a... Yes. Okay, good. We got more of our own faction. That's good. So ideally, we get the warlords built up. I feel like maybe I was wrong, but I could have sworn if they could shoot themselves and get their own buffs, that would be super, super overpowered and amazing. And then I would just get raptors built up for them and then, you know, go to town. They still might be okay, though. If we get some cemeteries around them, and then I could shoot the imps that come out of the cemeteries. Also, I think I'm going to go here. Really sad we didn't hit a bunch of mobs. That might tell me that I might start putting a cemetery down anyway. At least one cemetery. I might put down one. But yeah, I don't love using the warlords in the middle, but it does seem to work fairly consistently. Whereas other ways I was trying it were a little inconsistent. Rerolling that. I guess we take the imp just to get population. Yeah, I'm going to put this down here. I want to migrate them, but I can migrate them in this empty spot. So I'm going to go here. And that'll give us some imp spawns. And one thing you may not know, by the way, about the cemetery is that if you have any enchantment of any kind, including stats that the library wouldn't copy, like Gigantify, I'm 99% sure that even the stat-based ones, but definitely the enchantments like the library can copy. I guess well, let me. You see, that's what turns the frostbite into a poison. Not that good. As far as I can tell, it's not that good. Maybe it's better than I give it credit, but something tells me it's just not good. I don't really love any of these. This would be village is amazing if we can get the King of Spells. We can nuke our units, but yeah, I think we messed up. Dang. I guess we have Warhorns for the cemetery. Yeah, the cemetery will inherit the enchantments, which will include things also like the sword and shield. I don't think it includes procreate, thankfully, so that would be even more busted. But it's still absolutely broken. I think on retrospect, cemetery is like probably one of the best slots in the game. Absolutely broken. Ooh, I'll take the procreate, I guess. Where is this level up there, huh? Yeah, it's not really. I didn't really utilize that well. I mean, another mob or another cemetery, I guess, would have been what I put there. Here, I don't even know what I would put there. Is it correct to put the imps there? I mean, not really, right? It just, I mean, they would level up, but I don't really care about them. Just put them where they get more mob units. One thing we're missing right now is definitely AoE. We have some carnage stacks on our cons, but they're not cons. What are they called? Warlords? Yeah, look, it says they get stats, but I don't think they are. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll take stick quotes. Let's try shooting them. I think we'll die, by the way, if we do this. You see our front line just melts. Ooh. The imps we spawned did amazing. Look at that. Okay, that was kind of funny, but that still worked out. I'm gonna throw a few in here anyway. Good to know we could still technically win somehow, even if our whole front line dies. Thanks to the imps. I guess we'll start firing here because the front line's almost dead now. Like, yeah, I don't think these arrows I'm firing any of the stats. I just don't feel like they're doing anything more. Although no, maybe they are because I'm hitting for 1,000. So it is buffing these. This damage is being buffed. Yeah, I don't know. So these are all terrible. Wild card. And I guess we'll just level these boys up. Okay, I'm gonna try shooting the back line with this. I think I hit a lot more if I do the front line. It's probably better, but because if we didn't have the cemetery, I would say this is just a huge mistake. But I think with the cemetery, I think this is fine. Yeah. The cemetery makes it a lot better. Look at that damage. Alone. Is it even worth it going for this anymore? We haven't faced the Rainbow Army again. I always face them really late. Maybe... kind of want to, but we're pretty much, the ship has sailed. I'm gonna take the clone and get the cemetery, I think. If we could have gotten it a lot earlier on, I think it'll be even better. Here. Right? I mean, I do want the cemetery eventually to fill in spots anyway. I mean, I guess I could benefit from the perk rates better. But and we might not even get the rainbow card anyway that I'm looking for, so. With that in mind, I think we'll just do this. There we go. Should be fine now, yeah? Yeah. Beautiful. Swords, maybe. Which, by the way, I really feel like is going to apply to the imps. So they should do a lot more than 100 or whatever when we eventually find them. Well, not a lot more. It looks like 119. Which, yeah, so it did add to 5 as a flat number, I think. We could also buff these as well. They start at 4.5. It's kind of wild that they're doing as much. I mean, they have warhorns, but wild that they're doing as much as they are. Doubling that, I guess, is okay. Everything's going to be max crit anyway. Don't have a lot of money for rerolls, so I guess we'll just have to do that. Okay, let's see. My front line's insta-dead, that's fine. And then hopefully we just carry. Imps carry for us. Yeah, okay. We were able to hit the imps with the arrows there at that point too, which is really good. That's a wild card again. I mean, is there... The jump between these two can't be that big in the day, right? Where's this rainbow army? I want my rainbow army, man. It turns out we aren't gonna really end up using the raptors. I was thinking it would be cool if we can get the warlords to mount the raptors after we're done with the mobs, but I guess what makes this build pretty decent is that you don't have to high roll. It's a king of nothing. Goodbye. I guess the only caveat is you do need a king of blood for the cemeteries. Like cemeteries carry really hard here. You have combustions. Yeah, okay, there's the, again, so late. It's been late. The spawn of Rainbow Army for me has been late recently. Haven't seen a lot of early Rainbow Armies. I think it's just random luck though. Let's see. Yeah, we should build. They're not even killing our warlords, apparently. They're too tanky, even the ones I'm not buffing. Gigantify might be just the play, unfortunately. I'm gonna have some gold though. Raising, unify. Okay, so I'll show it off, but it won't be as good as it could have been. Still be really good, I guess. Any units we want posts? Unify. I mean, have these even been buffed? No. I guess I could get a raptor. I don't really need the raptor though. Put on the cemetery here. Let's look for a cemetery. Echo form. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, look at this. You ready? Perk rate unify. No, it doesn't matter. We'll echo form after. It doesn't matter. It's just gonna whoop. 222 of these guys. They still level? Oh, I did bad order. That was bad order. I should have percolated and then unified because I would have gotten more. Oh well. We make mistakes. Now I'm just gonna look for a migrate. Beautiful. Yeah, they don't stand a chance now. I still think we would have had an easy win even without the unify. By the way. I wish I can get more cemeteries here and here. Raptors aren't really going to do anything, huh? I guess I'll take the frost to show it off, I guess. Okay. So once we start shooting them, you can see the little snowy particles above their heads. That's the frost stacks slowing them. I probably could turn this on auto at this point. I want copy. Dang it. Upgrade isn't as important anymore. I mean, it would be if I were going to try to get as many units on the mounts. But I don't even think I want these guys on the raptors right now. They kind of actually make things worse. So I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, we'll just let it auto-fire the arrows at, like, my non-existent front line. Hey. Well, yeah. Nice and simple build, huh? I guess I'll level the warlord again. There we go. There's blood. Let me get another cemetery. They should die to our combustion. No, not combustion. Carnage. Not cemetery though. Thank you. Oh, I messed up on my money. I guess I'll get the rerolls. Do we echo form here, I guess? I guess we do. Yeah, why not? Yeah, okay. We'll echo form at the boss fight. No, I probably can't echo form them. They are a troop, but my base. I shouldn't be able to have more than one base. So can I have another cemetery? Thank you. That's the downside. There's no way I can. Yeah, I can't echo form them. Of course, that makes sense. That was a waste. That's okay. Yeah, it's the first base that's just like a normal troop though, so I just didn't really think twice about taking the echo form. Procreate again. Lol. Mistakes were made. Carnage. There are cards. King in Asia should be fine. We do that. We do this. More HP. This should just fail, right? Yeah, fail. Boom. Well, it should be nice and quick video, I think. Don't think this will scale very well into late game, by the way. Sadly. Wait, why aren't I firing? Oh, I am. I'm firing at the imps, I guess. Do units get armor later? Why are they doing 1 damage? They should do 4. Fascinating. I think it's this boss fight. There's like armor that reduces damage. Or like damage mitigation. Alright, I think that'll be it. So yeah, that was King of Nomads and King VIII wrapped up. Wow, that was easier than I thought it would be. So if you enjoyed the video, yeah, please leave a like. Like to see more, feel free to subscribe, and I think we're going to get the King 9 clear next time. See you then.